Okay, so money morning routine today, I had nothing come out of my checking account, but what I did remember was, so on my budget, and you will hear me talk about this a lot, there is a difference, and I hope everyone that creates a budget understands this, that there is a difference between your budget spending and your actual spending. The difference being either you're in the red or you're in the positive. So maybe you budgeted too much or you budgeted too little. Either way, there needs to be tweaks and changes to your budget in order to get as even as possible. Now, if you do have money left over, maybe you budgeted too much. And after taking out what really came out of your checking account or what you really spent for the month, you have money left over. Well, then you need to decide what you're going to do with that money. Remember, every dollar you make should have a plan. This just ensures that we're using our money in the best way that works for us. Now, if you're in the negative, if you budgeted too little or what you actually spent for the month versus what you budgeted and you're in the negative, well, then we need to make some tweaks either to our spending or to our budget limits. So what I do is I had nothing come out of my checking account today, but I did have some things that came out. So Avista, $693. So I'm just going to fill in my actual column here. I also had, you can see my home security came out for $61.67. And I budgeted for $63. Now, usually your fixed expenses, your bills are the same month to month. I tend to round up. Sometimes my fixed expenses fluctuate. Not my most common one is utilities, but because I'm on comfort level billing, mine stays the same at $693. Here's one that does fluctuate for me, Chewy. My Chewy subscription, depending on, there's some months I don't need dog food. I'm okay and I have enough to get me through until my next shipment. So it might be cheaper than it was the previous month, but it's a fixed expense because it happens every month like clockwork. All right, so joint accounts. So that came out for $700. That's an investment. All right, so Chewy came out $208.43. Now you can see on my budget I budget for Chewy for $245, and I budget on the worst case scenario. So if you are unsure, like Chewy, like I said, fluctuates for me, I'm going to budget with what I think the highest is going to be. I'd rather over budget than under budget. So I always, the highest I think it's going to be is $245, but it was really $208.43 this month. And that's because I didn't need a big mealworms that I had for my chickens on there. We're caught up, we have enough, so I took that one off. That's what I like about Chewy. I'm able to change it every month before my order ships out to what I really need. All right, so that's all that I have that came out. Now, doing this also, you're able to see what's left that I still have to pay. Well, Netflix, my life insurance, and YouTube TV, that's it. So that has been done. The next thing I have to do is I went and did some shopping yesterday in my food envelope. You can see I have the receipts here. And it was only one because guess what? We ate out again. We went to Noodle Express. I'm struggling. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be very, very, very honest here. Total raw mom moment. My son started cross country, which means now I'm not picking him up from school until after 5 because he has cross country practice every day. On top of that, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have cross country meets, which means I'm not even getting home until almost 7 that night. On top of that, I also have everything else that I'm doing throughout my work week. It's making it difficult for me to meal plan. This might be an excuse, but I think it's also a real struggle for a lot of families that especially have kids, husbands in sports. My husband plays more sports than my 2 kids combined. So I'm having a hard time with dinner because obviously I'm not home because I'm either traveling to or from the cross country meets. We might be just going back to slow cooker meals because if I can dump those in, at least it will be ready by the time we get home for the cross country meet. So what I have been doing is I've been grabbing food on the way home, but of course that's not what I want to do as a long-term solution either. So very honest, vulnerable. Even I, money expert, the person everyone thinks has everything figured out, I don't. I still struggle with meal planning. I still struggle with eating out. I still struggle with time management. I still struggle with juggling all the activities and doing all the things and wearing all the hats and making sure everything gets done. I still struggle. I still get up and I still struggle every day. Today I'm struggling. It's true. All right, so here's how much I have to spend. Let's check it. So 465 is where I'm at. So I'm going to write it here, 465. Yesterday's date, 9/18. I can write Express, $56. So I spent $56 at Noodle Express. Now you may have noticed too, when I was doing that, I had a lot of fives in there. Let's take them out for my $5 challenge. 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, awesome. So let's put our money back in there. Now we need to write down our $5 challenge savings. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Whoops. So minus 20, 9.19 today. And this is the $5 challenge. All right, so that leaves me with $445 left to spend. So I'm going to scan my receipt in the Fetch Rewards. Make sure you check out the caption or description of this video for what that is. And that's it. My food spending has been updated. Oh, it's only been updated on my wallet. Okay, so now I'm going to add all 20 of this to my $5 challenge jar. This is where I've been saving all my fives throughout the entire year. I am so excited. I think this is the biggest thing that I'm excited for as far as my savings challenges, opening this in December and counting all this money. I'm going to be using it for our Hawaii vacation in next year. So I'm just going to fold this up and stick it in my $5 challenge jar. Let's get updated with my spending. So 9/18 Noodle Express food, and we spent $56. 9/19 $5 challenge. This is a savings expense for me, and we spent $20. All right, so now my cash spending is completely updated. It's updated here on my envelope because this is where I track the balance of my cash. This is what gives me the awareness of the consequences of my spending in the moment by seeing how much I have to spend for that specific category at any given time. And then we went ahead and we updated my cash expense tracker because this is what I use to close out my budget. We added to my $5 challenge. So that has all been done. Now, big announcement. I decided I'm going to be going back to the full size in January of the new Budget by Paycheck workbook. Pre-orders are still happening. We are getting very close to selling out for the small size version. Here is why I decided to go back to the full size. I write really, really big. So depending on which one you get, whether it be the full size or the small size, depends on how comfortable you are with writing big or small. If you tend to have smaller print or penmanship or writing, then this one, the small size, maybe you don't have as much space where you're keeping it, maybe on your desk. Small size all the way. Maybe you want to stick it in a small handbag, carry it with you, small size. But if you're like me and you just keep yours on your desk and you write really big, okay, I do. I like to write really big. I'm also going to be using the new black cover that came out. This is a separate product. You have to order it separately. I think it's around $4, but I'm going to be using the black cover rather than the wildflower design that comes with the workbook when you order it. So I am excited to have more space for writing. And I just like having, like I said, the bigger space to write things. And it literally just sits on my desk. My desk is huge in my office. I have the space for it. So why not? I've always just gravitated towards the full size. Like I said, it's just personal preference. That's my morning money routine.